Let's give it a go. It's Descent. It's Descent 1. It's back. It's my favourite game. And I'm going to play it for you. Here it is. I'm loading a save file. That's not allowed in speedruns, but I'll get to that later. You may notice it's called speedrun load this. The only glitch we really use in this run. It's a fairly stable game for being from 1995. This is a source port designed to let it run on newer machines. So, let's go. Starting off in level 1. Very short level. As you can see, it's a 6 degree of freedom game. I can move in all the directions. I'm in a ship, a spaceship. And in fact, it's rather Doom-like with the collecting the red key to get through the red door. At the end of each level there is a reactor, like this. Blow up the reactor and the exit opens and you escape. That was level 1. It was a very fast level 1. Because it's a 6 degree of freedom game and we're moving in all 3 dimensions. If you've ever heard of strafe moving, this applies here as well. But since we have another dimension to move in, we do 3-way strafe moving. We call it tricording. So you might see on the inputs at the bottom, I'm moving. If I want to go in a straight line forwards, it's faster, like 20% faster or something, I don't know. Quite fast, quite a lot faster. Instead, aim 45 degrees off where I actually want to go. And I didn't kill the reactor, amazing. One shot. Anyway, aim 45 degrees off the way I want to go, and move both like forwards, up, and sideways. Get that combination of vectors to put me diagonally in that direction. On to level 3. You may have noticed last level I actually died. This is on purpose, for a death warp. That's when you pick up a key, you keep it in your inventory if you respawn. So since the door we wanted to go to after the key was closer to the spawn, we just killed ourselves as we picked up the key. And it spawned right back there. We can skip over that guy? Yeah, we can. Squeeze through that little gap with that guy. Collision with enemies is very tough in this game, it slows you down quite a lot. Depending on how many kind of polygons you interact with them, they can normally bring you to a complete dead stop if you touch them. Well, there are some places where we try and just shove them out of the way. Here I'm going to kill this guy to pick up an extra life that's popped out of him there. We need some extra lives for these death warps that I've been talking about that we did wrong in level 2. Because I'm going so fast and we're on the easiest difficulty, I don't actually get enough points to do the death warp however I want. So since that extra life is so close to the route anyway, pick it up freely. So level 4 is where we're introduced to those enemies, which I'm giving a massively wide berth, as they are the melee enemies of the game, one of them. You can see their claws. And there's no chance that I can push those out the way, they just stop you completely dead if you run into them. And these ones I have to get out the way with this new weapon that I just picked up. Red fire cannon. It looks like that. It spreads in 2 different directions. You saw that right there, crunching against an enemy, bringing me like to a straight halt. You manipulate in the... Coming back through that starting room, we manipulate the melee enemies from as we went through the first time to be further away from us as we come back through so they don't get in our way. Here's the red key for this level. We have all 3 keys now. We have the blue key, the yellow key and the red key. Each one contained in the previous key's door. Yeah, this weapon is a lot better than our previous level 1 lasers. A lot of melee enemies getting back in the way. So you have to backtrack back to the exit after killing the reactor. That's the up. Stop before. spread fire shot and one homing missile at the same time should kill that melee enemy straight away, so he won't be in the way as we get back. I can actually see, looking up the points, that I get plus 500 points if I've killed a guy, so I know that he's died. Yeah, look in here, we're going to try and lure this guy in and then come around his side while picking up some homing missiles in the back there. Here we have a new weapon, the Vulcan Cannon. Vulcan Cannon, you might be able to see, is a kind of hit scan weapon. It's very useful for opening doors straight away, because doors similarly, if you bang into a door your momentum will stop, so we want to open them before we get there. However, it doesn't do as much damage to enemies as fast as the spread fire, killing that invisible guy there in front of the door. So I was switching back to spread fire here. That's an invulnerability that we just picked up. Which, not that we're in danger of dying, but it's a good example for when we're going to use them near the end of the run. As we kind of start chaining them together for the later levels. So later levels surprisingly get slightly easier, despite there being way harder enemies. It's when we pick up an invulnerability and then we make it last for a long time. Well, we make it last for a lot of the level, because we're going through the level very quickly. The story for this game is something along the lines of an alien virus has infected all these mining robots in inverted commas. That's why they all have guns on and everything. All these mining robots throughout the solar system, so we're moving out through the solar system. Well, actually we're moving in first and then out. So the first levels were around Moon orbit, and then the levels we're on now getting towards Mercury or Venus, I can't remember. The levels level 8, for example, is Mars. A trap room with loads of drillers. All the doors open as you fly through. That's pretty obnoxious noise. The squealing you can hear. Did we land enough shots on the reactor? Yes, so I thought I had to go back for it. We're fine. This is level 7. And this level, the boss level, there's a boss instead of a reactor at the end. And the thing about this boss is, normally, when he takes damage, he starts his teleport animation of turning invisible and then teleporting to another random position in the room that he's in. But because that way my spider, right? Because we loaded that save file at the start, where for some reason, if you wait, let me just death warp on this key, same reason as before. If you wait at the beginning of the game, well, before the game, if you wait on this level long enough that the boss goes through many iterations of teleporting while you're off screen, while he's waiting for you, you will have kind of stored that many teleports up when you next restart a new game, because for some reason something is a global variable and it carries over to new games. And this means when we get to him in this run, because we loaded that other run where he's been sitting there for a long time, he will actually be sitting in the same place, just teleporting on the spot, for some reason. Because he's used up so many teleports, he's just going through those cycles before he decides to stop moving. Here he is, in his spawn point, sitting there. And you can see him doing his teleport cycle, turning invisible, but then he stays where he is. Then turns visible again. Oh, and that's him down, and that's me almost dead. That is me dead. Oh, no. Carry on. So the boss fires very dangerous weapons, as you might be able to tell there. Didn't quite dodge them well enough while they were coming at me behind while I was waiting for the exit. But on to the Mars level. This is where the demo of the game ended, the shareware version. After that boss. I have a new melee enemy, the advanced lifter, the red guys with 4 claws, and these secondary lifters with 1 claw who just kind of scream at you and don't do very much other than have very aggressive AI for such a weak robot. Ran out of Vulcan ammo, interesting. And of course you have the spiders, which split into mini spiders when they die. Robot spawning. I'll just quickly pick up this plasma cannon here. You don't get to see much of in the run normally. It's normally only for backup routes, which we're currently on. Didn't quite make it to the exit of the boss room and keep our quad lasers, which would have been very useful. Quad lasers are the weapons that do the most damage to bosses, in fact. One of the most damaging weapons in the game. So unfortunately we lost them. But also when you death warp, you do also lose your weapons. And we did do a load of death warps just before we went and fought the boss at the end of level 7, so we lost the other weapons too. You keep the keys, but you lose the weapons. It's a trade-off. Depends if death warps are worth it, not just time saves. Whether keeping your weapon will overall benefit you anyway. Keep track of how many lives I have for how many death warps I have to do now. Planning, normally, melee enemy getting right in the way there, I couldn't squeeze past him. Normally I'm planning on doing a death warp on the reactor of this last level. Because as you saw as I died on the end of the boss there, if you die after you've destroyed the reactor, or destroyed the boss, you go straight on to the next level. Your ship's contents are incinerated in the mine. We can make this a clean red key room. Squeeze past these guys. Oh, pretty good. Ah, this guy getting right in the way there. If they're in a 1x1 tunnel like that, you can't really get past them. So if we kill this reactor and also die, we'll go straight to the level. We don't have to fly all the way to the exit, which is fairly far away in that level. And we lose our weapons, but that's okay, because at the start of this level, there's the most powerful weapon in the game. This baby here. Fusion cannon. You can one-shot everything with it, provided you charge it up long enough. It is a charge weapon. You have to charge it up to maximum charge for that guy, which does also start damaging your own shields. The longer you charge it, the more damage you start taking. The end of this level is actually very tricky. I'm trying to keep my shields relatively high. So I die at the end of this level and then that's another backup. Ooh, that's a lot of damage I take in this room. But don't worry, there's a marathon safe invincibility to pick up. Which I might now go for. You may notice I'm using flares to open doors now. Flares don't do any damage to enemies, well they do 1 damage to enemies technically. Normally they're just used to light up dark areas, as the name suggests. But firing the fusion cannon has a load of knockback and a long reload time before we can do the next shot. So using flares is actually much easier to open the door with while you have fusion cannon selected, so you don't have to switch off fusion cannon. Otherwise I'll be switching back to Vulcan cannon occasionally if I want to fly through a long area with lots of doors. Or a door just at an angle aim to open it quickly. So we have invulnerability right now. Can we make it to the reactor room before it wears off? Because if it does wear off, I'm going to die. Can't remember how many seconds it lasts for, but it's not too long. 23. And the reactor opens. Our invulnerability wears off with a load of homing missiles still following us behind. If one of them hits me, I'll die. Let's get out of here. And we made it. So level 11. It's a massively lava-filled level, this one. Especially the reactor room. pick up this very precious Mega Missile, which we're going to carry all the way to somewhere in level 13. It's for a very important shot with the Mega Missile. Using these flares to open the doors again. Ignoring all the enemies which we don't need to use the fusion cannon on to get out the way, because firing the fusion cannon knocks you back, slows you down slightly. So when we can fly around and dodge an enemy, it's normally better than killing it. Now that I'm backtracking just have to open doors, I was back to the Vulcan cannon to open them the quickest. We're cloaked right now, which means enemies don't see us unless we bang into a wall or we fire a gun, and then they can start seeing us. Well, they fire where they last noticed that thing happen. And those spiderlings came out of that spider. Good RNG. So here's a difficult reactor room. I'm going to charge the fusion cannon to maximum charge as I make it to the bottom. I like to fly through a load of mines and tank them as these mine layers fly around and lay them. Whoa, we missed just the right side of the fusion cannon so we can get the one shot on the reactor, but we got the two shot. As you might have seen there, one of the shots, and there when I tried to shoot that door, one of the shots of the fusion cannon hits the wall, it disappears immediately. Totally deadened by touching even the tiny corner of it touching the wall. Switch the homing missiles here for this setup. Hit that guy in the corridor. And that guy. Slow at the start of their level, but we're fine. These drillers all very dangerous enemies, and having these red hulks especially very dangerous enemies. If we are on a higher difficulty, since we're on the easiest difficulty, they're not too dangerous. Nothing in this run is too dangerous on easiest difficulty, except I'd say that end of level 10 and level 13 is definitely the hardest level. Depends just how reckless I start being. Depending on how many lives we have, we get a load of lives, so I'm gonna start. So you saw me die at the start of this level. That's a new thing compared to the other death warps we've done. What I did was leave all of my weapons near the exit, where I'm going to pick them up later. Some Mega Missile or something. And then we go all the way to the red key, which is far away, kill ourselves, and then come back and hear all our weapons ready, waiting for us at the end of the level. 2 death warps in order to make one work very well. Now we have all our weapons for the hardest level in the game, right here. Flying past some drillers who have the that hit scan weapon, the Vulcan. So they normally get a free hit on you, no matter how fast you fly past them. Slow there. But because this is trainee, and because I'm trying to go the fastest, we're going to ignore a lot of these red hulks, which are very dangerous enemies. Going to leave a load of them alive, well, leave it, definitely one in that room alive. Going to kill this one. I really wanted to fire a shot through 2 of them at the same time, but we kill that one as well. I'm going to leave the one in the roof of that room alive. This is the hardest level, so I'm trying to manage my health. The final reactor shot in this level is pretty tough. And here's where we need that Mega Missile that we carried all the way here. I'm going to fire it up here and hopefully clear out this room in one shot, because Mega Missiles are pretty dangerous. Yeah, we got all the dangerous enemies in that room immediately. Here's a marathon safety little hole in the roof secret shield stash. Now we're using the Vulcan cannon to backtrack, because we've already been through these rooms, despite leaving a couple of guys alive. We're just going to ignore them, because there's a load of doors to open the Vulcan cannon. Dodging those guys homing missiles as much as we can. And this tricky reactor shot. So we need our fusion cannon to be completely charged up to maximum in order to one-shot the reactor with it. We've got to aim so that it doesn't hit the walls like that. Oh man. If we miss it, then we have to dodge a load of homing missiles from those guys, which luckily we did. The reactor was covered in red hulks. Vulcan for some doors, because the exit is quite far away. Whoop. Hey Chili. Yeah, here we go, right? It's a really hot night as well. This is a bad idea. How many lives do I have? I only have 1 life, and this is very awkward. I really wish I hadn't died before. But how close am I to the magical score where I get an extra life? It's right there. Perfect. So we get to do another one of these. Since I just got an extra life there, perfect timing. We leave all our weapons at the end of the level, and we go through the faraway keys. We can come back and get them later. A quick fashion by dying and respawning instead of flying all the way back. This guy has an invulnerability inside him. I want it. Yes. Now we have it. Reading the chat is very hard while playing this game. This game is a solid 40 minutes of action. But don't worry, I'm sure I can have someone who tells me stuff at the time if this were to be in a marathon. Co-commentator, couch member, etc. There we go, there's the red key. It's very far away from the spawn where the red door is, so we kill ourselves, and here's the red door right over there. We get all our tasty weapons back, especially the fusion cannon, the tastiest weapon of them all. We're going to one-shot the reactor, like that. So the shots from the fusion cannon go straight through everything, even if there's an enemy in front of the reactor. It will kill him too, and then go through the reactor with the same amount of damage. Invisible guy. Another invisible guy. These mid-late levels are all the hardest levels in the game. There's a lot of difficult shots like this. A lot of hulks, which all have the most health in the game. So you need to land like fully charged fusion shots on a lot of places. And the later levels have a lot more invulnerabilities. I'm running out of things to say because I'm concentrating quite hard on this. It's getting quite difficult. Oh, give me that red key please, I want to get out of this room without killing the enemies, even though they're completely wailing on me. Doesn't matter that our shield's pretty low here, because there's a load of red hulks at the red door, but there's an invulnerability here. Whoa! AJ the DJ, hello, and thank you. Let's one-shot the reactor strap. We charge the fusion cannon up to maximum strength. And just ignore everything in front of it and just fire it through. Fire it on through. Yeah, anyway, I hope the stream's not being too laggy with the webcam on at the same time, because it was doing a bit of slide showing occasionally. I will read the chat later, sorry. I could get one of those like text-to-speech bots reading out the chat to turn on for this situation maybe. Hopefully this guy drops us a cloak. He does. Cloak is very useful for getting the guys inside this red door to stay out of my way while I charge up my fusion cannon to maximum amount to one-shot the reactor again. Oh, I missed the left shot of it there. You saw it hit the wall. Unfortunate. Didn't get the one shot. That's the first reactor to actually need more than just a fully charged fusion shot to one-shot it, because reactors gain health each level. That one I actually need to hit it with one missile at the same time as the fully charged shot. Here we're going to use a completely fully charged shot to try and go through 3 of these if we aim it ridiculously right. Oh, pretty good, then there's cloaked guys got in the way. I swear one of the devs of Descent came back to playing it recently when they were developing Overload and admitted that the health of the Red Hulks was completely not correct and terrible. Because they have so much health, they have a lot of health. Oh, invisible guys in my way. It's hard to see the invisible guys in my current position. A lot of melee enemies through this section. Let's hope some of them aren't in the way. I only had to shoot one there. These enemies do wander around. Normally most are in their spawn points because you'll get there fast enough. But some of them, sometimes you get RNG where a lot of them have started wandering. Peek around that guy. We have quite a lot of health of shields here going into the reactor room. There is an invulnerability I can pick up for safety in this as well. Ooh, ran straight into that mine, thought I could get around it. So if we fully charge our fusion again, we're going to do 2 shots on the reactor to kill this one. So this is another level that I could do a load of death warps on, leaving my weapons in one place and then coming back to them later. But I don't have 2 lives right now, and I'm not massively close to getting my next life. So for now, I will skip this death warp here. And just fly back to the spot near the spawn. Which at least means I get to do this next section with all my weapons that I don't normally have for it. There's the yellow key, where we would normally death up on the yellow key and then come back to our weapons, so that's we're going to fly back out. Can't believe I died to the level 7 boss. That never happens. I just couldn't hear his moving missiles very well. Uh-oh, I've got lost. This room is very confusing. Need to go over there. A quick insight into what the mini-map looks like and what the auto-map looks like on this game, whatever it's called. It's also what the level editor looks like, really. The original level editor used to look like. There's the red key. Can we hit the back of the missile that was fired to us as we flew into the room? Yes, we can. And we have a charging time at this light to make sure we're charging our fusion cannon to maximum before hitting this reactor with it. We can two-shot it. This level is a very maze-like level. Pretty damn long if you're playing at cache. Oh, we didn't quite make that door cycle because melee enemy grazed us there. Oh, we got the butt missile from that guy. He may be facing away from us, but that doesn't stop him throwing a missile out of his butt. Yeah. all those guys bump into the yellow key and get the hell out of here. We made that door cycle before the door closed, that was nice. Black guy for later. Go to this really hellish maze segment in the bottom layer of the level. The layers kind of get more and more messy as you go down through the keys. Luckily I know where to go. Gonna try and make another door cycle on this reactor here before I charge up the fusion cannon to full. Two-shot the reactor and get back out the red door before it closes, hell yeah. So here's a big gimmicky level, the only level with this gimmick. The blue key there, contained within a robot. The robots can run away, and do run away, lay mines in your face, get completely lost, end up in different positions every run. But luckily, we know where they spawn, so if we get to where they spawn really fast, we can catch them in the act. There goes the yellow keybot. Then, most difficult of all, the red keybot in this area. You get to where he normally is, over here. He's not here, maybe we follow him around here. He's not here, there he goes! There's the red key. It's about catching him. They don't always run away in the same path every time, so once they start moving, it gets difficult. Oh, I was hitting the right wall there slightly with the fusion shots. Oh. I think it's level 21 now. There are 27 levels in the game, excluding the secret levels, which we don't play for any percent if we're just trying to go as fast as possible. The obviously. Maybe cloaked, but that doesn't stop them totally shooting at me when I'm firing everything everywhere. You can see where my shot's coming from. AI's not that stupid even in 1995. This is an interesting little reactor room that's different to all the others. It's puzzle one, so the reactor's hidden behind those. To open that, you need to fly into these doors on the sides in a certain order, which I'm completely used to, so get it open fairly quickly. There's a big important death warp section on this level. I have 2 lives, so we're going to go for it. Ooh, I wanted to kill that guy actually. Okay, so we leave all our weapons here in the first room, because the red key is very far away. Oh, unfortunately we didn't quite get our weapons down far enough into that kind of enclosed space. So they're very spread around that room, so they're going to take a slight longer time to pick up as we come back through there, but well. Very difficult dodges of homing missiles there, coming around those sections with the red hogs, very in close proximity. Pick up a spare fusion cannon down in this section, so now we have the best weapon again. Don't die yet. You need to pick up the key first. So now we got this massive spiral. This is the reason for the death warp, because this spiral is very... takes a very long time to get up. Woohoo, I thought I was going to die there. That was nice. And the red key is all the way down the bottom of it. So instead of having to go all the way back around that spiral, we just got ourselves after getting the red key. Pick up our weapons again. Get an invuln. I didn't pick up the quad lasers, hopefully it won't be a problem. I can get it on the way back out. Get an invuln to go and kill the reactor with. There's a lot of drillers all over this reactor, cloak points as well. Reactors now have tons of health, take the laser shots to kill them. Look at those quad lasers, where are they? There they are. And out we go. Oh, I did it the wrong way around. I'm supposed to fire the homing missile at the guy on the right, and the fusion gun and the guy one down. I can't quite sneak past that melee enemy. Occasionally you can. Well, most of the time I can. I've lost the knack. As you can see, this level, this game for speedrunning is not really broken at all, other than the boss exploit. We just play through these levels as fast as possible. There aren't any massive glitches. It's very skill-based, based on the movement, especially the movement. The thing that really makes your time add up, or get faster, is how well you can tricord everywhere. As I was talking about earlier, moving in these 3 directions at the same time. Pick up this cloak, the secret door there, and then the guy immediately after that drops the cloak anyway, which would have been more on the route. Oh, hello, Driller. So in this reactor room, there's some very scary enemies. It's the first time you see them on the run. The most powerful enemy. They also have the fusion cannon. As I said before, obviously the fusion cannon is the best weapon in the game. Here they are, the purple guys behind the reactor. They fire the fusion cannon at you. It travels very fast. If it hits you, it does at least like 50 damage, and this is only trainee. Might be 40 damage, can't remember. Depends how many shots of it hit you. Does a lot of damage. So we're kind of on the home stretch now. This is where the levels get slightly easier again for me, at least, because there are safety and vulnerability around if I need them. Those guys flew together excellently, so I get the one shot on them. There's another fusion. Oh, luckily it's facing backwards, so we can just kill it while it hasn't turned around yet. Stun it with missiles. Ignore the enemies in that area as we dash in and get the key and turn around. We're really looking for this guy to drop a cloak here. And he did drop a cloak. It's very unlikely that it doesn't, but it is possible. Now that we have that cloak, we won't get pummeled by homing missiles in this reactor room. Once I dodge them slightly, there we go. Right, how many points do we have? How many lives do we have? We're going to need 2 lives for the next level, so I'm looking to get to 40,000 points, or 400,000 points even, before the end of this level, which looks easily doable. Despite me skipping all of these enemies and not killing them in this section. The missile platformers, which speed missiles are absolutely everywhere, but luckily missiles move fairly slowly in trainee, so you can dodge them. There's a very tight shot with the fusion cannon through this hallway because it's very narrow, and if the fusion cannon touches the walls, it disappears, as we established earlier. Quite a lot of damage there. So it looks like I'll have to pick up. I should probably pick up, at least I can demonstrate it for marathon safety, the invulnerability over here. Only a tiny bit out of the way before we go to the reactor with it. That room was very difficult to navigate without being able to too much. There's a big dark room. You have to take your angle to the door correctly, and just wait till my fusion cannon is fully charged so the reactor. There we go. And then take 3 shots of fusion cannon. So 5 or 6 or whatever, if you're just spamming fusion cannon at it. Alright, so this is the second last level coming up. It's my favourite designed level. It looks really cool with the gratings flying on the inside of the grates and then at the end of the level flying on the outside. We're going to leave all our weapons there at the start. It's the first key we go and get. It's quite far out of the way. once we've managed our points, we do have another life in order to do this. This is our last life. Sorry, this is our last respawn we have if we die. So once we respawn after this, we'll be on our last life. The blue key, and instead of having to fly all the way back, here we are, with 0 lives. Now we're on the outside of those grates in the starting room, in this giant arena. And there's a spawner over there which spawns fusion hogs. Very scary, so, you know, just ignore those and hope they don't hurt us. I just dodged this homing missile, I think. If I did, that was a ridiculous dodge. Not sure, maybe because I was invulnerable I didn't tell that it hit me. I haven't got my sound loud enough to hear exactly what's happening. The soundtrack for this game is pretty good as well. I've put together a file actually, because we run with the sound off, we run with the music off, as when you get to an exit it takes longer to load if there is music loading for the exit sequence. So let's be stupid here and just go straight in this reactor room without picking up safety and vulnerability. There is an invulnerability right there in the floor, but you know, could just tank it and then run away. Means we're on to the final level, which we're going to start pulling out the mega missiles for, the most powerful missiles. Start off by firing one right there into the Red Hulk in that room. You can only hold 5 of them, and we're going to pick up another one during this level anyway, so we might as well use the 5th one we have there. And also, Red Hulks have a ridiculous amount of health, as we were saying earlier. So blue key, we're still invulnerable. Pick up invulnerability just before that blue key. The plan is to get all the way to the other key while still being invulnerable, because there's a load of fusion hulks. Here they come. Rid of the fusion hulks. That's one fusion hulk and another one at the end of the hallway, which also got one shot by a well-aimed shot next. Fusion cannon penetrates through all of them. And that's the 3rd fusion hulk in the way of the yellow key. There's also a couple more in the rooms around here, which we're flying straight past, and hopefully they don't shoot us on the way past. Which they didn't. Right. This is just the red key to go, and then there is a final boss. Now the final boss has the same thing happen to it as with the first boss. We've kind of locked its position. We're going to set up a quick kill on it by firing all these smart missiles in here. When they explode at a very long distance, they release more smart blobs, which do more damage to the boss. Use all our mega missiles on the boss to do the most damage to him. Pick up this one extra mega missile in the room there, and that should just about kill him. You see the 10,000 points appear in the air. That's the boss fight, and here's the final exit where time will be. That is time. See what time it gives us on the leaderboard. Flashing one, 41:55. Not the worst for my first fight, this particular predicament. Now I will re-chat, I'm sorry.